What up? I'm back, y'all. Listen, I gotta go back to cleaning my house because I skipped yesterday, and then today I was like, ooh, why did I do that? But it's okay because sometimes we do that. But just know the next day, we're gonna have to do a little extra, right? Listen, guys, ooh, this one it's different for me because I had to pray on this because I didn't think that I would tell anyone this, but apparently I was meant to tell people this. You guys got to get it together, right? You got to get it together because so many people are lost and going in the wrong direction. Like women have become masculine and lost femininity, right? And men have came feminine and have lost masculinity. And I'm not talking about who you date. I'm just talking about who you are, right, as a person. I'm talking about just respect, characteristics, manners. So many men complain, oh, women want to be the man, but yet so many men aren't wanting the responsibility of the man, quote unquote, that they believe they're supposed to have. And so women are left to pick up because when you have a lot of single parents, that parent has to play both roles, right? They have to be the mother and the father, or the father and the mother. And so they have to be two in one. And so children are lacking certain things, and it's because of our decisions. Trust me, I know. I have children with different people, and each one is, it's different because those were the decisions that I made in my past from, when I was in a different place in my life, right? But there comes a point in your life where you have to make a decision of who you are and what you're going to do in life, right? Who you are as a person. Listen, I lived with so much shame and guilt of my decisions of my past, which most people, that's just their everyday life, right? But for me, it just wasn't how I envisioned myself in the future. But it was something that once I had that shame and guilt, I kind of just accepted it and I didn't try to move past it, right? And then, God forced me to move past it, sent me in a deep depression where I really had to find myself. And it was scary. It was hard. It was dangerous. It was a lot of things. Listen, I tell people I will never judge people with mental illness again because your brain is a muscle, right? Your brain is a muscle, and just like anything else, it can break. It's how people end up with split personalities. Now, a lot of people want to say they believe in God until it's time to believe in God, right? We like to watch movies about supernatural and spirits and things like that nature, but we like to believe these things are just that, a movie. Well, here's the thing. It's not. Like, there are spirits, there are these things, right? And a lot of people are prone to either hear them, see them, or feel them, right? And we don't know what that is. And so, a lot of times it's just pushed off as mental illness. And a lot of times it's not. Now, if you don't know how to handle it, yeah, it can break you. But I'm telling you, God is very much real. And I say that because I've seen God myself. Now, that was something that I wasn't going to share with people because I know people will have a hard time believing that. But that was the point because it's my story to tell, right? That's my testimony to let you guys know that God is very much real, right? And God reveals himself to people, right? Does God reveal himself to everyone? No. Because you have to get there, right? Here's the thing. Listen, a lot of y'all walking around with half faith, a little bit of faith, but I'm telling you, God is very much real and y'all ain't doing right. You out here stealing, killing, and all these things, and that is the very core of the 10 Commandments. But the first thing is to love yourself and know yourself, because if you loved yourself, well, then you're not going to be jealous. You're not going to be killing. You're not going to be stealing. So you're not going to do those things to other people. And that's why it says treat people how you want to be treated. If you treat yourself well, then you're going to treat other people well, right? It doesn't take a lot to have respect and manners and to be mindful of other people. It doesn't take a lot to say, excuse me, right? It's just common respect. You guys got to learn to coexist in the same place instead of trying to conquer everybody. Listen, the Bible tells you this is the last one. This is it. Because everybody's ethnicity or whatever they identify with have been slaves or slave owners at one point of time in history. But history always says God frowns upon those people, right? God says, let my people go. We like to think that's just one group of people. No, it's people in general. Because you are not supposed to own another person, because you wouldn't want to be owned by somebody, right? People aren't property, not of other people, right? So there's a war within you because two entities reside within you, God and the devil. And some of y'all have more of one than the other, right? Because that means one side is losing and the other side is winning within you. And that you project onto the world. Look at the things y'all say. Look at the things you believe in. Look at the things you co-sign. You know, people always say, I'll give my body for this. I'll give my body for that. I'll give my life for that. Will you give your soul? See, a lot of y'all will say that you're willing to die for certain things because you have no idea what you're doing. Because you believe until it's time to believe. And then others of you have been tricked by the devil because you've seen some type of magic. Well, the Bible tells you God is not going to come down with magic. God don't need magic, because God does not want to scare you into following God. God wants it to be your choice because you want to, not because you were forced into following God. But understand, if you don't follow God, there are consequences, right? And that there is a place for your soul, and your soul will go wherever you lead it to, right? Be careful who you're following and understand God is very much real, right? I cannot express that so much. God is very much real. It's not a myth, it's a reality. It's hard to believe because some of you suffer so much, but understand Buddha suffered. Jesus suffered, right? Because when you suffer, do certain things, you start to understand certain things. See, Jesus had to suffer in order to judge correctly, right? You got to be able to have the discernment of judgment. A lot of y'all are judging things that don't matter, right? Or you have no idea what you're looking at. And so everybody wants people to follow them. But before you become a follower, understand what is it that you're following, right? Listen, I can't express it enough. I mean, y'all got to get it together, because the way this world is going, you're going to fall so far, you're not going to be able to get up. And that's not the world I'm trying to leave my kids in. And I hope it's not the world that you're trying to leave your kids in either, right? Because these kids are lost. They're raising themselves. And it's because of the constraints of the world. I've been that single parent. I've been that parent that didn't have time, but I always tried to make time, right? I've made so many sacrifices at such a young age that I didn't know what it was like to live. I felt like being a parent was a prison sentence, right? And that's no way to feel, because kids are very much a gift, right? They're a reflection of you. But not only that, kids help you grow because you see yourself, right? You see the fruits of your labor, their mannerisms, how they interact in this world. But sometimes we see the damage we've caused to them, right? There are spirits in my older kids that I broke that I didn't mean to, right? And those are things that everybody has to work through, because we're not perfect. Like, we're all damaged in some type of way from our childhood. It's just minimizing the damage is the goal, right? But not only that, but giving your kids the tools that they understand how to get themselves out of situations that they may put themselves in, right? Like, I had a baby at 17, and because of that, I damned myself to hell. I wasn't married, and because of my faith and, like, church, I just knew I was going to hell. So I didn't feel like I deserved to make different decisions. I didn't feel like I deserved different things because of the decisions that I made, right? But here's the thing. You learn from that. You grow from that. And you do better. Listen, stop tearing each other down. And intentionally tearing each other down. And you got to start building each other up. But understand who you building up. Because some people don't want to be built up. And you got to let them go, okay? Do not force them. They have to want it. If they don't want it, leave them. Stop pouring your all into people who do not want it. Pour it into you. Pour it into those who want it. But understand the end goal is to be the best version of yourself so you can ascend. You cannot ascend into heaven carrying all this baggage, right? And there is certain spirits God is not letting into heaven, right? And so before you get to heaven, you have to get them spirits off of you, because those spirits are hindering you from entering to the kingdom of heaven. I hope y'all have a good day. I pray that you guys start to look at each other in a different light. Stand up for what's right, because it is very vital that we stand up for what's right, and we no longer allow those who are wrong to believe they're right. Because when you allow those who are wrong to say, oh, let them do them, well, they're influencing the world, right? Because people are really easily influenced. So if you're allowing bad behavior or immoral behavior to influence the world, well, guess where the world is going, right? Listen, understand, God is real. God gives second chances, but you're going to have to work for them. They aren't free, they're earned. And in order to earn them, you have to understand where you went wrong. Because if you don't know where you went wrong, well, then how are you going to get back? See, if you don't know that wrong turn, how do you get back on the right track? Y'all have a good day.